Military Main. Whatever happened to that guy? Shout out if you remember Chameleonaire. Rest in peace. I don't know. I don't know where he's at. Oh, I need to go up. There we go. I'm here all alone. All by myself. All by myself. Remix. All by my. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I'm sorry. I'm just turned up in the morning. I'm sorry. Sorry. Forgive me. Church people, what you know about that song? All right, I'm Justin Fox. And the Fox says, let's see here. We'll go ahead and add my posts to the things. What's cool about the live stream stuff is that you get to be held accountable. You know, it's good to be held accountable to the things. Hip hop. Okay. Let's just put this on my regular wall. Oh, I should put it in the group. Duh. Okay. All right. I think that's all the sharing I'm going to do. Just because I'm sharing does not mean I'm not caring. Bars. Oh boy. I forgot to actually turn my game on. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get this party started. Freudian slip. Happens all the time. So I might be kind of quiet whilst I fix some of these characters right here. I'm having breakfast right now. I'm trying a meal bar. These things are great. It's made of blueberry and they're tremendous. The best. Believe me. Oh, whenever I think about or whenever I do that Trump impersonation, I think about all the vitriol and stuff, and how folks really think that sharing the status online is like powerful and sticking it to them. Like, no, you're just online to give Mark Zuckerberg more money. That is all. Oh my gosh, it's Scott Jacobson! That's our official celebration noise. What's going on, Scott? That's my homie right here. This right here. This one right here. That's my homie. That's my homie. So, Scott, it is also good to have you. Hope everything's going well with you. Are things going well with you? How's the students doing? Are they all Gucci? Are the students all Gucci? I am at a different place these days. Not in a bad way. Some people say, you know, I'm in a different place. I hate all people. And you're like, okay. You need to calm down there, buddy. No, I'm in a different place. This conversation right here is about so this is Sloth. Say hi, Sloth. Okay. You should. You should. Only the finest material here on the Justin Voss Media live stream. Only the finest. The best, believe me. I'm gonna post something about that. Anyway, this conversation is about sloth, but it might be about apathy also. So, this is about having the power to do something and then not doing it, and how immoral that is. And Leadfield has feels a certain kind of way about that. That once she acquired the power to change things, she just didn't, because it was too stressful to think about. It was too complex to think about. You know, I'll just do what I've been doing. You know, the minimum amount of effort to exist, I think, is what sloth, in terms of this, you know, laziness, is actually really about. It's the minimum amount of effort in order to live. And God has a big problem with that. And people should have a big problem with that. You know, what was a quote? The only way for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. So this is a conversation that Led's having with herself, essentially, about not what she did, but what she did not do, and what she could have done earlier in order to actually be of use to save some people's lives. I just want to make sure that I was putting in here A conversation about power and not about, you know, blaming a harem of women, of trafficked women, for their mistake. I definitely didn't want to do that. So this is a conversation about power, having it and not using it. That's a different conversation. Not a whole lot of power can be done in a situation like that. Unless you're incredibly crafty, you still have your wits about you, and how can anyone have their wits about them in a situation like that? Jesus. Okay. So her conversation is, it breaks it down into 3 different parts, which is, oh, actually the question is right here. I don't know why they always think something's wrong. I just like to listen, to watch. I have fun, just not the way everyone thinks I should. It's annoying. I just want to chill, nothing more. Just be left alone. Isn't it okay to just do nothing? So responses are, you can choose between, yeah, I think it is, well, yeah, but, or not all the time. Okay. So I just need to make this dialogue tree for not all the time. Well, that's too much like the other answer, so let's go back over here and explore this. Because it means more responsibility. Maybe you do know, you just don't want to say it because that means more responsibility. Responsibility. Anyone but you. I think you can handle anything yourself. Question mark. You need anyone but you. You're too weak. Uh-oh. It's the dopest song ever. Turn my headphones up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, let's stop. Oh my gosh. Alright, you know what? Back on planet Earth. You need one, but you're too weak, too dumb. Sure. It's immature is 2 M's, isn't it? Doggone English language. Oh. Okay. Is it immature? Yeah, it is. See, I knew that was his testing you guys to make sure that, you know, you knew you knew what to do. That you knew what to do. Because they act like they think like it is, but it do. They act like they think like it is, but it do. Or something like that. Look the quote up. It's amazing. Too dumb, too immature. One. Okay. Okay. I think that's pretty fair. We won't have the person be confident after that. We'll give her depression. Yeah. How about despair? Yeah. All the status ailments in this game are actually emotional states, rather than, you know, necessarily the traditional poison and stuff like that. Alright, finish that one. I think next is going to be Here's. Oh, Kushmikri. Kushmikri! What does that mean? Probably said might eat babies or something like that, you know, for all I know. Jeez. Ah! Why do I say such things? Okay. Rage? Really? That's her? Troop of Rage. The Troop of Rage. Does anybody remember Johnny Quest? The New Adventures of Johnny Quest, and it had Ezekiel Rage. Trying to find Rage. So are we up here? Fine, I'll look back. Gosh! Alright. 101. Why didn't you do that the first time, Justin? Because I like to make things difficult, apparently. 101. Oh, okay. Okay. Alright, looking for Elisa's dad. Elisa's dad is the plug. He's the plug for everything that went wrong. It was a total disaster. Let's see, this is Envy. Envy. Sorry guys, I'm eating so much in your ear. I'm so sorry. Okay. Will have to be the final upgrade in game 1. Change. Then we'll drop this one. 2. That's awesome. Blah, 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 blah. All this just looks wonderful now. All right. Very good. Oh, that's right. She moved, so she didn't know where she was. Yeah, she had no idea. You and I'm taught. Well, actually, yeah, I think that works. Yeah. These aren't the big girl caves. You zombie. Kill. Oh, whoops, wrong window. Nope, I mean right window, but wrong, whatever. Okay. Hmm. Let's see. No, that makes you sleep better at night. Just let you sleep with me. Sleep forever. That's what you want. Okay. Oops, that's the wrong character. Wrong dialogue tree. Okay. And he needs a transformation. Just like she does. So do I need one for Sloth? Probably. Yep. Need for Sloth and Envy, so I might as well go ahead and put them all in there. Oh yeah, that's right. Hers are mostly something, something, something. Where's my piece of paper? Yeah, here they are. Oh, this is all one person's. I think they're all, I won't say anthropomorphic. They're just, they're things. Like this is a thing. Okay, I think, yeah, these are all just characters in the other world. So, seems to be that I might be wrapping up here in just a little bit. Sorry that, like, again, it's not more. I can't really talk and write at the same time. I don't have that skill. Women mostly do, but I'm not. I think it's so incredible about women too. Like they can do stuff like that. It's like, how do you do that? It's like a freaking magic trick. What? Well, let me do this real quick too. I was thinking the other day, as I commonly do. And I was thinking about like how to describe it. I was thinking about training, you know? I was thinking about training the body and the mind And I was thinking about how, like, we train, like, all these other parts of us, you know, and we don't really train. We sometimes train the body in order to, or the mind only to sustain more training the body, you know, when you're working out, things like that, you know, but I don't know, I was looking at some stuff from Jordan Peterson the other day. The Nazi guy? Yeah, the Nazi guy, that's him. Anyway, back on Earth. But I was, so he was talking about how basically it's unethical to not be all that you are. And also that it's okay to not be okay with where you're at and who you are. Not like who you are as a person, you know, but who you are in terms of, you know, what you know you're capable of. Because that's kind of the thing, right? Everybody knows that they're capable of more than what they actually are doing or watching or seeing or saying or whatever it is. Everyone knows that. So no one wants to point it out. You feel a certain kind of way about that, you know? And just kind of started to think about it, and I was like, you know, maybe I'm not. There's all these things I want to do. Like I want to spearhead and evangelize in a way that's never been done before. I want to bring heaven to earth in terms of the arts. I want to do all this crazy stuff, you know. Stuff that I didn't know I wanted. God put it in my heart, and it resonated with me so much, and just fit so perfectly with my affinity and love for Him and what I was already wanting to do. As just like, you can't help but think that, you know, okay, I was already made for this in the first place then, you know? So, when I think about that, you know, even the Bible talks about, you know, leaving the old things behind, you know, putting on the new man and things like that, you know, and it's like, yeah, it's one of those type of deals where you're like, I'm not able to sustain where I want to be with the way that I do things now. Like, I have to train myself to be in that kind of position. As I currently am, I am not enough. Like, I'm Goku, right? I have done all these illustrations and painted them and things like that, you know. I have written this thing, you know, for years now. I have blah, 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 blah. I've done a lot for this project, and I've already released another game, you know, on Steam and everything, you know, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But, so I'm Goku. But I've got to train before I get to Namek. You know what I mean? Like, I got to train to get to Namek. I'm not just going to, well, I have the means to jump in my spaceship and go to Namek. You don't just go to Mordor, and you don't just go to Namek. There are powerful forces, Namek, that I am not prepared for. It doesn't mean that Goku is inefficient or not sufficient to do the task. It just means that he is not maximizing himself. And think about it this way too. Think about it like if Goku what song is this? 1 second. Okay. Think if Goku actually trained with what he was used to on Earth. You know, he so this is what happened to him. What happened to him, as the show goes, is that he had a gravity machine, and they were talking about how the Saiyans trained at 10 times Earth's normal gravity. So therefore, Goku needed to train at 10 times Earth's normal gravity. So that's what he did. He began to train, you know, and, you know, was beginning to work his way up. And then Goku, so you would always say that's extreme, but that's Goku working up incrementally, which is good. And then, though, what happened was that Goku had a little accident when he went into a, because he was traveling to Namek, it's on a spaceship training, and he was going towards, he was going to Namek, and something happened to where the system got messed up. He was going through some kind of electrical magnetic storm or something like that, you know, and began to interfere with the instruments of the gravity machine. So all of a sudden, he was at 100 times Earth's normal gravity. Almost killed him. But then he was like, wait a minute. I survived. So now that I've experienced 100 times Earth's normal gravity, I have to train now, because I know I can survive it at 100 times Earth's normal gravity. He didn't just, that's the thing about Goku. He never, and that's even though I like Vegeta way more, the thing that always was important about Goku was the fact that he never competed against Vegeta. He never competed against his opponent. He never did that. He always competed for himself. He always wanted to outdo what he could do. He's always in competition with himself to do better in that regard. And because of that, he just turned into a freak. Vegeta's main weakness was the fact that he was always competing to beat Kakarot. So it was always just enough to beat Kakarot. But because Kakarot was beating his former self and competing with that, he always blew past Vegeta way faster. Because his focus was just on that. He wasn't trying to outdo Vegeta. He wasn't trying to outdo Cell or anything like that. He was just trying to outdo himself. That's all he was trying to do. And if he went to that level, cool. If not, cool. It didn't really matter. He just wanted to outdo and outwork his former self. So when I began to think about that, I was like, how screwed would the Dragon Ball gang have been if Goku just trained just enough to beat to be more powerful than he was before he left and fought Vegeta? I mean, he was screwed. Like, utterly and totally screwed. Because the Ginyu Force was there when he first got there. So if he was only a little bit more powerful than Vegeta at that point in time, he would have gotten fanned from, like, Jace. So we had like these elite super fighters, you know. One of them was taken out, but the other ones, there would have been no way. Outnumbered, outgunned, all that stuff. If they had just gotten enough. Just enough. But because that didn't happen, because he was going further beyond his limits, not anyone else's limits, he went beyond his limits, he gets Namek and utterly destroys the entire Ginyu Force. Utterly destroys them. It's like you're not in my league anymore. Like Vegeta didn't even recognize him. It was like, what even happened? What even happened? So when I think about that, I'm like, well, should I hold on a second. Should I just do enough? Or should I go all in? So again, it goes back to the ethical question of, okay, is it ethical for me to remain where I'm at and to not push myself? Is that an ethical choice? Because if there's value in what it is and who it is that I am and what God says that there is, you know, so much value that what's the use of gaining the whole world if you lose your soul, your mind, your will, and your emotions? You know, like, think about that. If you gain the whole world and lose your soul, you know, and soul's a technical term too. It's kind of a combination of different things. It's mind, will, and its emotions. Now you're not gonna find chapter and verse for that, but it's kind of one of those implicit things within the Bible itself. So if I'm that valuable, why sell myself short? And why would I do less than what it is I'm capable of? So then that gets to the point of like, you know, okay, I'm going to train myself at a high level because you guys deserve a high level. Well, maybe not deserve, maybe you're right where, I don't know. I don't know what you deserved. You could deserve a punch in the face. I have no idea. But I certainly think that if we don't do that, something bad happens when we don't do that. You know, there's a certain amount of responsibility that we have to face at some point in time in our lives. You know, like when people become parents, you know, all of a sudden they have this new responsibility, and then they become better versions of themselves. When it was all about them, you know, kind of crappy people. But then when it becomes about the child, they calm the freak down, and it's like, oh my god, it's not about me anymore. And they become better people because of that. You know, because now they're responsible for this little life in front of them, you know, and it's kind of like, well, I've got to be better now. That's like that's the first instinct of a new parent. I've got to be better now. I've got to be better now. And some parents take that to the point where they're like, I can't be around you until I am better. So they leave. But they instinctively know that they got to be better. Have to be. And it freaks them out. So either they step up to the plate or they run away from it. But either way, they still know it. But there's this other kind of thing where, you know, we can... Your child being in front of you is a little less abstract of an idea. But the thought that you have a responsibility to be better and to offer what it is that only you can offer to the world, to the nation, to your neighborhood, to your neighborhood, to your subdivision, whatever it may be, you know, that actually does have an impact. You know, then when you actually embrace that, then it's kind of like, okay, I do have to be better. Because I don't want to spread more evil in the world than there already is. You know? Like I said earlier, you know, the old axiom of the way the evil prevails is if good men do nothing. And there's a lot of nothing that happens, and we're promoted to do nothing. You know, all this television, video games, and things like that, you know. Essentially, that is you looking at a screen. That is a doing nothing kind of thing. So we're encouraged and sold in advertisements and things like that to do nothing. And the active ones, you know, who are building companies and things like that, you know, they make money off the people who are doing nothing. Which is why sometimes I feel a certain kind of way. That's why I don't want my games to be games where it is just a passive activity for your enjoyment and that's all that it is. I want to teach at the same time too. Not in some kind of hokey educational kind of way, but I do want the player to experience some things that will make you go, maybe I should reassess that. Maybe I can take this lesson to the real world with me and actually, you know, be better. Or maybe I take this idea, you know, and understand that there's more required of me than just what I thought I was required of, which was a bunch of, you know, goofing around. So I was just kind of thinking about that, and for anyone listening, I just encourage you guys to understand that you don't suck. I think it's the biggest thing that kind of messes us up. It's this idea of, well, I suck, so therefore I don't have to do anything. No, that's a cop-out. Because if you suck and you know that you suck, you can do things to actually make yourself better. That's just you being afraid of the responsibility of it. And I understand. I've been definitely afraid of responsibility because I didn't think I was going to be able to handle it. Thought I was inadequate. So, and I still wrestle with that sometimes. But I'm going to win. That's the thing about it. When eventually you keep on wrestling, you know, you're going to win. So even when I think it was Isaac, or was it Israel? Maybe Jacob did turn to Israel. Anyway, the wrestling match between him and God, you know, He prevailed because he didn't quit. He kept wrestling, even though he was completely outmatched by, you know, God in the flesh. You know, like, you just keep going, keep wrestling with it. If you keep wrestling with it, eventually, you know, somebody's going to tire out. And a lot of times, the problem is the thing that tires yourself out. But you need to have some good coaches and some people around you to say that, you know, okay, go for the leg, go here, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to be trained in that. You don't just go into a wrestling match, you know, without gaining some kind of muscle, some kind of ability, learning something from failing, you know. Eventually you keep on wrestling with it, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be good at wrestling that particular opponent. And then once you get good at wrestling that particular opponent, you can actually take the opponent down. It's just like in video games, you know. First time you play a game, you suck at it, you're terrible at it, you're going to get killed by like a Smurf or something, you know. I don't know. Same with fighting games. You're not good at the first fighting game that you play. It's not very good. You don't understand the systems. You don't understand how everything works. And it's different from the last one that you played. So, you know, you keep on fumbling around with it and wrestling with it until you actually get it. So I'm willing to wrestle again. I was thinking that the Justin that is currently here with you was enough, and he's not. And that's okay. Not at the level that I need him to be. We need him to be everything that he can be. Not because of him, but because of everyone here listening to. That's called inspiration. That's called helping. Like, in order for me to provide the service that I want to provide, I need to be more than that. And you guys need to see overcoming. It's very, very important. So, I want to begin the process of overcoming more. And being better. Being like really, really good at what I do. So I just encourage you guys that, you know, get your coaches, get your people and everything, you know, and we'll wrestle this thing out together. And it'll be fine. You will surely not die. Surely not. I love that surely. Surely. Graphic flame. Ugh, there's a centipede in here. I really don't enjoy those guys. Had a shoe, the game over. And they're like ninjas too. They just disappear on you. Like, you'd be staring at them right in the dark and then they just disappear. Like, where in God's name did you go? How is that possible? Like, a centipede will throw up a shadow clone in a second, bro. I'm telling you. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of here and make some declarations and announcements and things like that, you know, because I don't want to spend too much on here. I want to improve on myself and everything, so. But Scott, you have gone MIA. Maybe, I don't know. But it was good seeing you. Either way, there's always an encouragement when you stop by. I love it when you stop by. We can get there eventually in terms of all the coloring and all type of stuff, you know. So maybe I spoke too soon about that. I may not be ready for the coloring quite yet. Which doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it. It just means I'm not ready for it quite yet. Yeah, that's probably a better way to say it. Because right now, my main focus is concentrating on I'll finish the doggone game first. But as far as the scenes are going, Donnie Chase. I don't know who Donnie Chase is. Do I know Donnie Chase? Oh no, I don't know who Donnie Chase is. But you have a good morning, also, Donnie Chase. I appreciate you stopping by. That's awesome. Love your face. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Do some reading. And guys, reading is just a magical thing. It's absolutely amazing. I love reading now. Before I was like, oh my god, I had to read. Now I'm kind of like, bruh, I love reading now. That's like my pastime. I don't really like it that much. It is pretty, isn't it, Donnie? It is pretty. Oh man. Well, maybe Donnie, we can catch up a little bit next time. So I'll usually stream on Wednesdays in the morning. It's 10:41 EST over here. So, but I usually start streaming around either 9 or 10 in the morning. And so maybe we'll catch up and do the things and all that kind of stuff next time and everything. So that would be enjoyable. Because it's always more fun when people are actually here. So, one day, I'll have actual people here. More than like 1 or 2. But I am exceedingly grateful for the 1 or 2. I really am. Like, it's exciting when I'm like, oh my gosh, the person that's actually watching, cool. That's why I'm always excited when I see Scott or Raul or whoever, you know. It's just, to me, it's really freaking cool. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. Let's do this for the rest of my life. Let's see your PST. So that means that are you in the past or in the future? Are you in the past or in the future? Let's see, EST. Ten. You're 3 hours behind me. That means that even by Kentucky standards, you're still behind me. That's just embarrassing. I need you to move somewhere where you can be in the future. As a matter of fact, you need to go to Japan and just live there for a little while because they're like a full day in the future. So I need you to go there with space people. Okay? That's why Japan's so different. Because they have a full day ahead of us and had it for a long time. Okay? They're space people now. We don't understand what they do. So I need you to go ahead and catch up, live in Japan for about a year, and then come back and move somewhere EST or something like that. Can you do that, Donnie? I need you to do that because I want the best for you. I have loves for you. I have loves for you. All of the tremendous loves I have for you. Not really. What's his name? Like I'm gonna know who he is. Sakamoto Ishii. It's like, yeah, he owes me $5. I know exactly who that guy is. You know, it's like, come on. He goes to the internet bar, cafes all the time. You know, whatever. I play WoW with the guy. You know. I don't think they WoW much over in Japan. I know they do in like Korea, China, places like that, but I don't think they WoW much in Japan. I don't know that for sure though. I know that they don't. A lot of them don't like the American dog crap aesthetics of things. So I saw a sign in Japan, where this retailer was David Cochran. Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you knew somebody from there. I guess he can be from there. You know what I'm trying to say. if I saw like a retailer that had a bunch of Activision games in a pile, in like a bargain bin pile, and this said American Dog Crap, he didn't say crap either. And I was like, wow. Oh man. Personally, I like Japanese games more than American games. American games have a tendency to, well, I should say this. American RPGs are things that seem to be very, very complicated a lot of times. Like, can I play the freaking game? Oh my god. It's like, hey, you can level up your left hand. It's like, I want to play the game. But Japan invented the console RPG for that very purpose. The reason why Dragon Warrior was made, or Dragon Quest was made, was because they had inspiration from wizardry and American and Western RPGs, and they want to make a simplified version of that. And that's the version that I grew up on. So I am not at all into like the American RPGs like D&D and things like that. You know, I didn't really get into that, so therefore I don't understand them. Therefore they seem very complex to me. Therefore they stress me out. Therefore I don't play them. So and I also like the aesthetics of the JRPGs and anime games more, and games made in Japan more. I just like that it's like the colors and the stuff, and I also like the spiritual nature, the existential natures of the of Japanese games, because they connected to a bigger source than, you know, just themselves or whatever, you know. Western games seem to be kind of focusing on more social issues than necessarily, you know, and that's cool. It has its value and everything, you know, but I'm a spiritual guy, so therefore I like having those deeper questions, you know, in terms of, you know, how all things are connected to other sources and spiritual sources and things like that. So, because like once you investigate and have a game where it's kind of like, well, I'm a black Eskimo. Okay, now you have a black Eskimo game, and that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, it has some cool stories and some. I think Western RPGs are really good at telling stories. You know, relevant. I mean, more relevant, more worldly kind of relevant kind of stories. You know, in terms of just the stuff that's going on around them at the time. You know, but some of them can kind of put like a too much of an agenda in there. Of course, then again, I also made a game called Black Simulator, so you know. So anytime, you know, you make a game called Black Simulator, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I understand why you would actually do that, but you know, it's like JRPGs. They have a combination of they can have the potential to have a combination of the spiritual and what's going on in terms of culture, or they put it in a creative way, rather than so on the nose sometimes, you know. So I like the way they do those type of things, but that's just me. That makes sense. It's the individual versus the whole. Yeah. I like individuality. But again, the irony is that Japan likes the whole. I have a friend who she's a translator actually, and she's awesome. And she was talking about how like Japan is very much like a hive mind. Like when you make a decision for everybody. They have a great understanding that it's not about them. Like they have a great understanding about that. But to the point where it's like they fear that if someone kind of deviates too far out there, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna mess with the entire society. So that's why like punishment goes a long way there, because they don't look at it as, okay, you messed your life up. They look at it as you're messing up the entire nation of Japan. so like crimes there have a lot more weight, you know, and so everyone has a lot more responsibility over there. In the West, though, obviously, it's more based on the individual. So, which I like because there's these other choices that we make, but at the same time too, there's a certain amount of chaos that's introduced into that because, you know, you have the choice to think of the whole or just think about yourself. And reaching that on a organic level is a lot more helpful than I think of, and doesn't lead to as many rebellions and a bunch of kind of restrictions in terms of overall freedoms than if, you know, you're forcing it on there and saying that, you know, you're only allowed to think this way. So it has its ups and downs. I had a D&D character that was very self-centered, and he had an encounter with the creator God, and it actually changed his life and how that. That's pretty crazy. That's a crazy D&D story right there. Yeah. And that's another thing too about Western RPGs is that they're all trying to be D&D, but D&D is like people. Like the stories you come up with D&D is people. It's imagination. It's not just, you know, click from a choice box, you know, and it's conversations, it's thoughts, it's all kinds of crazy things. I'm just like, dude, like, you could have all these experiences with a D&D game, you know, that you just are not gonna probably be able to have in an RPG, you know, unless you can actually talk to your NPCs. Once that's implemented, then we can have a conversation about, you know, trying to make everything like D&D all the time, you know. But until you can actually talk to the NPCs, you know, you just have these poor man's version of D&D all the time, you know, and it's just not working the same way that people would like it to work. BioWare has done a great job of simulating conversations, you know, you can have with your characters and things like that, you know, in Star Wars and other games and things like that, you know, but just, which is really freaking cool, but it's just not the same as an actual D&D game. Like, what you just have to be saying there, but Donnie, is that's a lot. That's a lot. Could say that maybe Mass Effect. I just don't buy it. It's cool though. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm not hating on it. I promise you, I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on Mass Effect or any of those BioWare games. I'm not. It's just not D&D. It's kind of like how people try to make games and try to make movies instead of games. And like, Negro is a game. Make it a game. You know. Okay, later, Donnie. I'm a sanguine personality type. I can talk all day. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here myself too. And it's awesome talking to Donnie Chase and Scott Jacobson. I love both of you guys' faces. I will catch you guys in the remix. You can find out ways to support me in the links in the description below on Patreon and other things I'll be mentioning soon. Love you guys very much and take care of yourselves and bye-bye.